Columbia, SC, Vanderbilt found itself in a tight game for the first time since mid-September on Saturday. And naturally it came against South Carolina, with the teams once again playing a tightly contested game. But the Commodores, 3-5, 0-5 sect, fell short, losing 34-27 and dropping their fifth straight game. Quarterback Kyle Shurmur threw for a season-high 333 yards with 4 touchdowns. Here are 5 things we learned. Vanderbilt's defense remains porous. Vanderbilt came into Saturday allowing almost 50 points per game in conference play. It was a lot of the same against the Gamecocks. The run defense was the real issue against South Carolina, which ranked 13th in the second rushing yards per game. Vanderbilt allowed quarterback Jake Bentley to score 2 rushing touchdowns, the first 2 of his career. And the Commodores allowed a South Carolina running back, namely A.J. Turner, to rush for more than 100 yards in a game for the first time this season, while the team rushed for a season-high 212 yards. We didn't make every play defensively, but I thought there was some swagger in that group, Coach Derek Mason said. They had some unfortunate and bad things happen to them, but they never got down. I think that's important. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores safeties Zaire Jones. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores safeties Zaire Jones, 6, hit South Carolina Gamecocks wide receiver Brian Edwards, 89, in the first half at Williams-Brice Stadium. Jones was ejected for the hit. Photo, Jeff Blake USA Today Sports, that pesky yellow flag. The first half took almost 2 hours to complete, in large part thanks to a bevy of penalty flags littering the turf at Williams-Brice Stadium. Vanderbilt, which had not been called for more than 6 penalties in a game this season, drew 9 first-half flags for 90 yards. 2 players were ejected for targeting, including first-time starter Zaire Jones on the second defensive play. But most notably, the flags were costly. South Carolina scored its first touchdown a few plays after Jones' penalty. Jay Woods ran into South Carolina punter Joseph Charlton, handing the Gamecocks a first down on another drive that ended in a touchdown. And after linebacker Charles Wright became the second targeting ejection, USC again took advantage and scored a touchdown. We hurt ourselves, Mason said. The pushing a punter when we are clearly off the field makes no sense. It cost us. October 28, 2017. Columbia, South Carolina, USA. South Carolina Gamecocks. October 28, 2017. Columbia, South Carolina, USA. South Carolina Gamecocks quarterback Jake Bentley, 19, scrambles for a touchdown against the Vanderbilt Commodores in the first half at Williams-Brice Stadium. Photo, Jeff Blake USA Today Sports, the necessity of Wright. It doesn't take much to see the impact Wright has from week to week on the Vanderbilt defense. But his absence for the final 36 minutes or so Saturday made it even more apparent. After its best pass rushing threat was out of the game, Vanderbilt gave up 20 points to the Gamecocks, who opened up their offense and had no issue moving the ball. The Commodores got little pressure on Bentley after Wright was tossed for targeting midway through the second quarter. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores running back Ralph. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores running back Ralph Webb, 7, rushes against the South Carolina Gamecocks in the first half at Williams-Brice Stadium. Photo, Jeff Blake USA Today Sports, dinged up running backs. Ralph Webb had his breakout game against Ole Miss 2 weeks ago, but the workhorse back saw few carries against South Carolina. SEC Network reported in the third quarter that Webb had a rib injury. Backup Kari Blasingame, who scored Vanderbilt's first touchdown, also left with an apparent injury. He returned in the third quarter, but ducked out again. Without the duo, Vanderbilt's rushing attack had little life against a rather stout South Carolina run defense. Mason expects Webb will return next week. Ralph had a little upper injury, Mason said. It's not anything that is going to keep him out next week. We just have to get him through the next 48 hours and he will be back. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores head coach Derek. October 28, 2017. Vanderbilt Commodores head coach Derek Mason disputes a call against the South Carolina Gamecocks in the first half at Williams-Brice Stadium. Photo, Jeff Blake, USA Today Sports. Time is running out. Vanderbilt was halfway to a guaranteed bowl berth after 3 games. The situation remains the same after 8. The Commodores have 4 games left, all of which are winnable, but also could very well be losses. This should be a bowl team, and likely will be if it wins 2 of the final 4 games. But what should never have been a question this season has become one. 3 home games in a row should help the cause for the Commodores. We showed the fight in this group, Mason said. This group is a tough group. This team can do exactly what I thought it could do down the stretch. It's the football team that I thought it was. It's a team that I'm looking forward to taking down the stretch.